Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices, and starting with the S&P here on the monthly chart, and we're looking at wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C wave for wave 4 here, and 5 waves up for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we're looking for 5 waves up here for wave 5. Now it is a bit contentious. We've got a possibility of having wave 5 top in play here, or we're treating all this as wave 3 and 4, and we've got one more move to the upside here. So there's two possible counts when we look at the bigger picture here. So on the weekly chart here, it's possible to have from wave 4 here, it's possible to have this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and then have this as wave 4 here, and wave 5 here, of 5 here, to have that finished there. And then we could look at this as down for 1 and back for 2, and then moving down here further. So that's a possibility, okay, but we're not going to miss anything. The other point here is that this is still over here to come, and we're looking for this to move down a bit lower in here before seeing a move to the upside here. So just to recap that, it's possible to have wave 5 top in play here, and it's also possible that we've got wave 3 over here with an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 4, and then moving up here. Wave 4s are complicated, so it's also possible to have a running triangle within all of this as well, which would leave wave D over here and wave E over here, with wave 4 coming into play over here. So that just chucks another spanner in the works, but it's something that we need to include. Let's go into the daily chart here and look at our first primary count, our main count to the downside here, if I can just squash this back up, which is wave 3 here, an A wave here, a B wave up here in orange, and then 1 and 2 in here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, back for the fourth wave to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and then looking for wave 5 to the downside here. So that's our primary count here. So I feel that we've got this top in place here now. We're at our target zone here. And the wave 4, as a wave 4, yes, it has rallied quite high, higher than the 40%. It's at the 60%, but it's still at the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here. So technically, it's correct. It's also possible now, we'll talk about the trades in here. There's a huge difference between being an analyst and being a trader, right? So the analyst is in the guessing game, so to speak. So where are we going over here? So this is also possible to have this where this wave 4 is. We could have wave D in play here, with wave E over here, and then wave 4 over here. So in a nutshell, for the time being here, without complicating this any further, is that we're either going to move down to the 61.8% mark and then move back up, or we're going to be coming straight down through here. This would probably be in line with the European markets coming further down here, because they're not finished on their track to the downside. Either way, we do need to have some short trades in this space here, okay? And then we just need to monitor and use a few tactics to move through this support zone here, say that from 2,730 down to 2,700 area through here. So as a wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 4, and look, it's fine to sell on the turn of something if you can get that. I always like to this move down through here, if I can just draw it over here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This is where we are now with this down through here. I don't think we've got 5 waves down. I think we've just got 3 waves down. So we'd be looking for 5 waves down. If we do get 5 waves down here, which would bring us into here, Then we can look for an A and a B and a C wave as a retest into supply zones, and then move down, and we can also put a position, put a line in the sand through these two lows here to enter again over here. But having 5 waves down and confirming those 5 waves down here, what that will do obviously is will give us the retrend here as just explained, but it'll also give us the next 5 waves down. So really it's a really good start in the structure, and a nice way to move into the market on that downside there. So let's just go into the hourly chart here. Let me just, we had long trades in the markets. We've taken part profit in this space, and we've also had a stop under this particular low here. So we don't have any long trades in the markets anymore on this side. So I can move that out of the way, and I can also move this out of the way here. Now, as I mentioned, we're looking for 5 waves to the downside. Pretty much across the globe through Asia. I haven't got into the UK just yet, or the DAX, but the move down through here appears to be in, well, 3 waves at this particular point. So 3 waves is just corrective. So really, we could just go straight up from here. I mean, we're in an uptrend here, aren't we? So we would be trading against the trend in this space. So if we're going to trade against the trend, we want to have some evidence in play. We want a strong setup in play. So with that in mind, we can do 2 things. Well, we can use the Elliott Wave, and we can also use the trading levels. So in terms of the trading levels, the 28 is what we call a profit-taking number, and it's a minor level. And then the next degree smaller than that is group 1, so 10, 20, and 30. And then below the 28, we use 80, 72, and 65. So this is a really important space, because while the market is vibrating across this particular number here, it will do it in the space of group 1, and this is group 2 below here. So this would also be group 1 here, 1, 2, and 3, then the midpoint, then group 2. So group 1, midpoint, group 2. And here again, group 1, midpoint, and group 2. So when a market's at a minor level, then this is the space that it will vibrate in until it becomes the support or the resistance. So as support, we may be able to pick it up earlier as support being on here, but we know that if the market sits on top of 30, number 3 here, on top of group 1 as support, then we know that the market is going to leave this number here and will be pulled to the next number up here, which will be this 5, the midpoint here. And it's the same below here as well. So group 2 here, once this becomes the resistance, we know that the market is leaving this number here. So being able to see this as resistance area here, because currently it's support, it's not resistance yet, is it? I mean, it would have been okay to short it from here. That would have been absolutely fine. It also would have been fine to short it under this low here, because it's retested. It's retested here, so that can be a short. I wouldn't have gone for that one, but that would have been my one in here. I didn't, and I don't, but that's the retest here. The market's moved through, retested, and then moved down further. So this is the same sort of picture we're going to use here as well. So in terms of the wave count, we've got this strong 3rd wave down here. We'll see an A and a B and a C wave for wave 4 probably, and then wave 5 down here. So if we get these 5 waves, then we can look for this ABC correction here, and then we can go along there as well. So if I can just put that here, of course you'll need to adjust that sort of space here. But as you can see here, we'll start looking at being, if you take this short here below here, you'll need to leave the stop above the 2800. Okay. Otherwise, we'll need to look for this particular move down to the 5th wave, and then this here. So then this move here can become wave 2 or wave B here. and then that would take us down. We know that we would be looking down from group 1 here, so 2730 to the 2700 area here would be our target area here. Okay, so we're basically setting up for short trades. We just need evidence. This move currently down through here could still be it could be just a corrective move, and we could have one more high to come in play before this rolls over here. So you need to be really careful. If you're going to take this trade here on the low here, then well, that would be fine then, because we would have 5 waves down, but also keep it really small, because you may have to carry a loss coming back into wave 2 or wave B over here. Okay, so a small position here, this position across here can have more weight in it, and then we'll be on our way to the downside. So on our way to the downside here, we'll be looking at, if we take this low here to this high here, we'll be looking at the 50-60% retracement level. There's going to be support in here, okay? It's going to be a little bit rough there, so we're going to need some patience there, and we should also be able to look to, once the 2700 becomes the retested resistance, to add to positions to the downside as well in that space. But for the meantime, it's just feeding in, and we'll be looking for a low below this particular low here. So we're in the right place for everything. We just don't have the full evidence of that particular move down so far. So just on the tick chart here, it is possible to have it as corrective as an A wave, a B wave, and 5 waves down for the C wave here of wave 4. But once this low gets taken out here, and this is all of group 2 here, then it's another story from that point. This move up here is in 3 waves. It could get more complicated here. We may end up with, you know, all this being the A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave here. Look, it may even retest up here, and if that's the case, then let's just say I can't draw on this side over here. But what we can do then is, if I can just copy this here, let's just say that the market moves up to 28 here and then fails at that point. Then what we want to do is I can't draw past that price there, but taking this low, you get the idea. Let's just say that the market moves, even if the market moved down here further and then moved up, then you'll just need to adjust this here. But basically, if we get 3 points like A, B, and C here, then draw that line across there, and then a breach of that, you need to be short on that point. There's no point in going long unless we've got the 2800 here as the support. And as I mentioned, the market vibrating at 28 will be in this space here, and it's doing all the things that it should be doing for a bull market, but we just happen to be looking for a turn. Will we get it? Will we? Well, we've got it, but we don't have the evidence of further downside just yet, not in the wave structure and not with the trading levels here either. But we are looking for the setup, and there you go. So with the NASDAQ, we can see that the NASDAQ has come off a lot more. So from the lows here, we were looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. And we've had a couple of long trades in here. We've been long here, here, and here. And we've had the stop here. And once again, we'd be looking for 5 waves down here. I'm on the hourly chart, so I can draw this. So it would be 1 and 2 in here somewhere. This will be a 3rd wave. There'll be an A and a B and a C in here, and then down into here for the 5th wave. And then there'll be an A and a B and a C wave coming into play, and then down here. So the same as we did through here as well. We can just grab this here, copy that, and put that over here. Once we've got that 5 waves, then that's just going to, we're just doing all the right things, you know. We're probably, you know, we're not maximizing it on the turns or anything, but we're just plodding along, you know, taking the next logical step and a balanced viewpoint on all of that. So this is where our short trade would be, and also in this case too, we can see that the 7,000 is important, and we'd want that as resistance, wouldn't we? So resistance also would be, if I can just copy that, would be under this low here. So the market would come through the level and then come back and test it. And then if it fails from that point, then we can look to move lower from that point, so taking that low out there. I just want to have a look at Amazon, if that's cool. Just see where that's up to. So this is just a tick chart, but it's going back into September, the highs here. And as you can see here, I mean, you know, with the S&P 500, we've got, this is wave 4 over here for the S&P 500. But when I look at the S&P 100, and if you look at the S&P 1000, sorry, we can see that on the S&P 1000, we actually already have 5 waves down here. But that's another story. So in this case here, we've got wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and we're looking for an ABC pattern back to this space here into the another, wherever you see number 8 is the profit taking number. You're going to see the bids being hit at number 8, wherever you see 8. So just be mindful of that. So in this case here, we're looking for an A and a B and a C upwards, and it looks like we've got that in play. Let me just, we still don't have that 5 waves here either, so I don't think so. So 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, nice strong third wave with the gap in it here. So we've got wave 3, 4 and 5. So really this is wave 3 here. This will be wave 4. Wave 4s could get a little bit more complicated. This is going to play out on the 1700 here, so that's cool as well. So we'll pick this up as a trade 2 on the thing. So let me just check this here. So yeah, we can come, I can't draw on this side here, but we can come back up to the wave 4. So like all of those markets, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave coming back up into that space, okay? So, I mean, obviously the stocks are driving the indices, aren't they? So, unless it's the futures market. So yeah, so that's where we are there. So we don't have 5 waves down here yet either, and we can pull back up to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and also the 38.2%, yada yada yada, yeah, so once this is done here, then 5 waves down here, wave 1 here and wave 5 will be roughly the same length, and then we'll be looking for an ABC pattern back to the upside here. So get these tools working. So wave A would probably come back up to the first top here where that consolidation is. Wave B would pull back, and then wave C can go up to here. So that's where we could go. Wave 4, 5, A, B, C, back up into this space here. But you can obviously adjust that once we got that low in play here. So probably failing to find support on top of group 1, which is 10, 20 and 30. You can trade above 30, but we'll probably not find it as the support. And of course group 2 is under here, 65, 72 and 80 under here, and we can put this with a bit of a heavier line on it because it deserves it, because it's a larger number. So there we go. So that's sort of what it looks like. So really, even though the markets are turned, we don't have any evidence of them being, a top in place. We'd need to have that 5 waves in place first. So just remember that. Yeah, that will dictate the change in trend. Okay, sorry to waffle on, but yeah, a few things to cover. Alrighty, cheers.